Curiosity. How many are here because they're curious? Yeah, I'm kind of curious about this, and I think I could probably cover all of you in these. So how about resolutions? Somebody made a resolution because it's like just past the end of the year now. We're into January. Somebody in here's made a resolution to eat healthier, to lose some weight, to do something, right? Okay, we got at least a couple of them. How about disease? Anybody in the room who's battling a disease and they're like, I need to get rid of this. I know I brought it on myself and I'm here to learn how. Any of those? Yeah. Okay, how about weight loss? You don't have to raise your hand if you're embarrassed, but even all of us have the weight control issue that we want to talk about. How about fear? How many of you here have fear? Can I tell you just a very quick story? I spoke at a summer camp for youth, and this actually had to do with racing. I was supposed to be there as a race car driver talking about all this stuff, and it was really exciting. And I had like 45 minutes to talk, and I had this stuff all planned out. You know what the youth wanted to talk about the whole time? They wanted to talk about disease. And they wanted to talk about how they can avoid it. Because you know what? They're absolutely riddled with fear. The young people living today are convinced beyond the shadow of a doubt that they're going to die of some disease at a very young age. And they're really afraid. So it would be silly for us to think that there isn't at least some element of fear. And there might be other things, but then there's probably a couple of you who probably won't raise your hand that don't really want to be here. And you're probably not here by yourself because you probably came with somebody who made you come. And so my question to you is, how do you know, for those of you who don't want to be here, how do you know what's healthy? Maybe some of the rest of you can help them. How do you know what's healthy? How do you get your paradigm of what is healthy in your life? And really, I'll give you a hint. It's the same answer as how you learn anything else. What do you think it is? And I'll just tell you, there's no one answer. There's a whole bunch of different ways. Any ideas? Trial and error? Somebody else? Yeah, look to your right or left. Yeah, research. That's a slippery slope, but it's very true. Now, I'll talk about why I think it's a slippery slope. And what else? Our paradigm or our understanding of what is healthy is built off of kind of the path that we walk in life. What books do we read? Who do we hang out with? What do we do? Here's another good one. How do you feel? Because after you do this for at least a few months, but certainly a year or two, your body becomes a meter. And when you eat something, within a few minutes you're like, oh, that wasn't a good thing. So how many of you know that every single day the FDA makes hundreds of decisions that potentially impact our health? And how many of you follow and track what those are? There's just no way, right? I mean, we can sort of keep our hand on the radar, but it's difficult to track all of them. There's just no way that we can do that. How many students do we have here today? Okay, so for anybody that didn't raise your hand, let me respectfully prove you wrong. Okay? First of all, how many of us are here to learn? Okay? So we're all students, right? Second of all, think about what was the purpose of high school? I'm just going to tell you in advance. Yeah, I'm going to tell you in advance that whatever you say, I'm probably going to prove you wrong, or I'm going to disagree with you. But I need somebody really brave to tell me what they think the purpose of K through 12 is. Anybody that's brave enough? Come on, Colin, you're brave enough.
Get educated. To prepare the student for going out into the world and making a living.
Yeah, prepare the student to go out in the world and make a living. What did you say, Colin?
Prepare.
Yeah. There was one over here. Get educated. Any other guesses? Indoctrination.
Well, I used to teach high school. The kids were there to have fun.
Yeah, kids are there to have fun. Yeah, that comes from a teacher. So let me tell you why I think K through 12 exists. I think K through 12 exists to teach us how we learn. It should be to prepare us for a life of learning. But too often, people go through K through 12 and they see that graduation as, oh wow, I can unleash this education robe and I can go out and do life and have fun and do all this stuff, right? But that really isn't the right perspective, is it? I mean, the right perspective is, I want to learn something new every single day. In fact, I think I'll sleep better if I do that. How many of you agree with that? How many of you think you can learn something new today? Yeah, absolutely. Did you know that 57% of America didn't read a book last year? Yeah, study that just came out. It's pretty sad. You can't help but learn, and if you do, here's the thing: you can't help but learn because there's active and passive education. How many of us are subject to passive education? All of us, right? That's like just going through life. Even if you close yourself up in your bedroom and do nothing, you're still going to naturally just kind of learn something. As every day passes, maybe you get a little bit wiser and realize you need to unlock your door and let yourself out. But there's passive education in terms of the people we hang out with, the choices that we make, the things we do. You're constantly going to educate yourself just by going through the process of life. But there's active education, which is on the other side. And there's all kinds of different types of active education. And you can go to school, you can read books, you can watch educational videos. I got stuck on YouTube last night watching a bunch of really cool videos, that some of which are good and some are kind of a waste of time, but eventually you just have to hit that red X up in the top corner. Okay, that's enough. Speaking of that, there's some videos by Andrew Michelle. I don't know if anybody knows Andrew Michelle, but he's a very good friend of mine, great guy. Primarily raw, foodist, amazing testimony. I'm going to talk about him a little bit more in a few minutes, but I highly recommend you look him up on Google videos and YouTube and watch. He's got 2 different series on there. One of them he filmed at our office, which is on self-control and raw foods, and it's just amazing. It's really good, straight from his heart. So here's what I believe. I believe if you truly go after some education in terms of health and wellness and healthy lifestyles, and you spend a few months, a year, 2 years, however long, and I don't care what you read. You can go to the medical colleges and go into their libraries, and you can read any of those books. You can read any of the books that I'm going to recommend today. You can go on the internet. You can travel. But if you focus yourself and your energy on understanding, where does disease come from? How do I prevent it? What is truly the healthiest lifestyle? What decisions can I make? What control can I take of my health and of my weight and of my sickness and of my life, of my attitude, of my energy level, of my attitude, your state of mind. What can I do? I think if you go after that, every single one of us would come to the same conclusion. The only reason that we're not all there is because we all haven't sought after that path hard enough and long enough. And the conclusion that you'll come to, I think, is that God was right when He set up the Garden of Eden. What we're designed to eat is raw, fresh, organic produce, straight from the tree, or straight from the plant, or straight from the ground.